I've been looking at the ground, but I ain't getting any higher. I've been trying to find a way to set.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for downloading the Voice of Bedlam podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Santoro. We got a great show planned out for you guys today. Now, the rest of the VoB crew will be joining me shortly. Today, we're going to have on Devil John on the mic and on the boards, and of course, on the phones, King Joe Colin Johnson. But before we get to today's daily breakdown, let's talk about today's sponsors. First up, Kyani, a health and wellness company. Kyani offers pioneering and life-changing results. Click the ad in the link below and use our promo code PILLSNOMORE. That's PILLSNOMORE, all one word. Use it as your username, and you guys can unlock some savings. And go there and see what Kyani can do for you, and make sure you check out the Nitro Extreme package for more energy, and it'll help boost your cardiovascular system as a whole. Studies show it even increases the sex drive and your libido. So make sure you guys get over to Kyani, click the link in the description, and type in our promo code PILLSNOMORE as your username and see what Kyani can do for you. Kyani, Wellness Simplified. Next up, we're also sponsored by BigLeagueShirts.com. Want your team to compete with flair? Then look no further than at BigLeagueShirts.com. They will help push your team to the next level with high quality and personally customized jerseys. Don't have a team? Well, I'm sure you're a parent, and think about the hero you could be when you show up to the game with your kids' customized jerseys. Now, Big League Shirts doesn't just make jerseys. They do all types of screen printing, so go over to BigLeagueShirts.com and see what they can do for you. But when you get ready to place that order, customize it online, but place that order by calling 913-909-9236. That's 913-909-9236. And if you guys do this, you will save $50 on your first purchase. $50 on customized jerseys. So make sure you hit up with the guys over at BigLeagueShirts.com and give them a call. Tell them that Bedlam sent you at 913-909-9236. Rolling with today's daily breakdown. All right, first up, Pennsylvania AG closes the LaShawn McCoy investigation. Now, this is going back to that Philadelphia fighting incident with the off-duty police officer. Now, according to NFL and NFL.com and Max Meyer, the Pennsylvania Attorney General has dismissed the investigation of Bills running back LaShawn McCoy stemming from an alleged fight at a Philadelphia nightclub on February 7th. McCoy's lawyer, Dennis Kogan, told NFL Media's Mike Garofalo on Thursday the Attorney General confirmed to Kogan the Pennsylvania Federal Order of Police and the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office in a letter that its investigation of the alleged brawl is closed.
Well, yeah, and Kogan went on to say that LaShawn did nothing wrong, but let's not forget that in April the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office announced that no charges would be filed in alleged incident that resulted in injuries suffered by an off-duty officer.
Now, wait, check this out, right? Listen to this. Brian McCarthy told Garofalo that the NFL is still reviewing the matter. So, now this doesn't mean they're saying they're going to do anything, but just think of this. This is absolutely ridiculous, okay? They're not even opening a case on LaShawn McCoy right now, okay? Like, it's done. It's over. And they're still like, oh, well, Roger Goodell and the other SS behind the NFL shield, you know what I mean? They're going to decide if they feel something's wrong. And even though the government of the country says the man's done nothing wrong, the Gestapo Goodell army is going to march out and say, maybe we'll suspend him or fine him. That's a bunch of crap.
Yeah,
I would think the Players Association is going to have a lot to say about this if somehow Goodell feels like a punishment is necessary. Considering, look back at, Ray Rice wasn't charged with a crime because his girlfriend did not choose to, commit any or, accuse him of anything.
Yeah,
press charges. That's the term I'm looking for.
And then she married the man.
He was still disciplined by the NFL, but that is a completely different situation. What LaShawn McCoy did was break up a fight that his buddies started with some off-duty police officers, and it seems that the entire time he was really just trying to say, hey guys, this isn't necessary, this isn't worth our time. But once the mouths stop running, these are grown men, and LaShawn McCoy is a professional athlete, a large specimen. He's going to get in there, he's going to defend himself, and that's really all that LaShawn was doing. So if that is against the NFL's Players Association or against the NFL's policy, then the Players Association is going to have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What do you think, John?
Ray Rice he was terminated from the NFL because he still isn't playing football.
But not on paper. I mean, technically, yeah, they're like blackballing him or whatever. But technically, he's a free agent.
And not only that, Greg Hardy, who
way worse of a situation. Not that what Ray Rice did was okay by any means.
Not saying that you should right hook your girlfriend or fiance, but honestly, things do happen, and honestly, if the NFL is going to try to come in and try to be social justice warriors to try to maintain their image and maintain the integrity of the company, well, unfortunately, sir, you're stepping beyond your means. You crossed the line. You're not an FBI informant. You're not former CIA. So why are you doing all these intense investigative things when you weren't even qualified to do so? And if the government and the police are not pursuing any charges, why are they trying to push this any further? What has LaShawn McCoy's image done to the NFL's image in this matter? If anything, people kind of forgot about it already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there's no doubt about it.
All right, but if you guys want to, before we move on to our next story, getting into the Bills, why don't we take a break and tell everybody about RedInkResumes.com. Now, we've all heard the great news about the U.S. economy getting a lot better, a lot more jobs being created, but you're not going to be able to take advantage of this if you have the same old boring resumes of the past. That's why you need to get over to RedInkResumes.com.
Indeed, with social media becoming such a big thing of how people get in contact and stay connected, but not only that, our attention spans have decreased drastically. So that translates all the way up to your potential future employer. So when you make a resume, it needs to stand out. And not only that, it needs to have all the pertinent information, but it needs to grab the attention so that they do not skip past yours. So make sure you go to RedInkResumes.com so that you don't get passed by for a good job ever again.
And now with that, let's keep moving with today's Daily Breakdown. First thing we're talking in Buffalo, Bills great Jim Kelly has no signs of cancer after his biopsy. Now, his wife took to Twitter, and her tweet was a big thumbs up for JK and a big thank you to God, the doctors, and all of you who prayed for Jim today. Primarily, what's this?
Joe wrote
preliminary.
Yes, preliminary results from the biopsy show no signs of cancer. After they heard the awesome news, he said two things: thank God for all the prayers, and I need a chocolate milkshake. Hashtag Kelly tough. Now, Kelly had surgery in 2013 to remove cancer from his jaw and has gone more than 18 months without any signs of it returning.
Yeah, that's a good news. Especially that it went into remission. He's one of those legend guys that, honestly doesn't have the hardware to kind of show for it.
He's got 4 AFC championships in a row, though.
Yeah, exactly. He's got...
Doesn't sound like 4 Super Bowls.
Not the hardware that he wants to wear, though, I'm sure.
No, but Jim Kelly was a phenomenal quarterback, though, especially...
Yeah, an impressive resume from the guy. And, you won't read... You can't read anything bad that anyone's ever said about Jim Kelly. From all accounts, he's an absolute stand-up guy, a great friend, a great father, a great husband. God bless him and his family. This seems like it's a really great sign for him and the Buffalo Bills organization absolutely as a whole, and the NFL.
As some of me and my friends say, because I had a friend that had cancer, and I also had a lot of other family members and friends, family members with cancer, and we say F cancer. So, yeah. Because we can't say the full word, but you all know, because to see cancer survivors and it's reassuring to know that the cancer research and the experimental therapies and things that they are doing are correcting this ongoing issue, because it seems like younger and younger people are getting cancer, and it's a devastating blow to not only their lives but their families' lives around them. So yes, I'm glad the positive energy and the thoughts and prayers and things went out and came back with a positive result.
Yeah, F you, cancer.
So,
whoops.
F cancer.
Yeah, all right. But here's a funny story, though, right? Funny story. I saw in an interview with Jim Kelly. Now, he got drafted when Elway got drafted, and he was refusing to play for the Baltimore Colts. Mm-hmm. And then Kelly's agent, now there was a lot of hype made about this before the draft even happened, even though they still drafted him. Kelly's agent went to him, and he said, you know what? You're a top-tier quarterback. Is there anywhere you don't want to play, Jim? He said, nah, I'm not picky. But he goes, if anything, just I really don't want to go to Buffalo. He said, and Buffalo that year had 2 number 1 picks, right? And the first one came up, and he's sitting there like, don't pick me, don't pick me, don't pick me. And they didn't. I forget who they picked. They picked somebody else, and he thought he was good. And then they had the next pick, and then they picked Jim Kelly. He said he went up to his room and cried.
Oh, man.
No kidding.
You know what I was just thinking about? You were talking about, Jim Kelly being a good guy. And this was like the era of football that, like, I grew up with, learning these names and seeing these names. And, I think, just that whole era of players, Brett Favre towards the beginning, not towards the end. Doug Flutie.
Hey, he did go to that championship game against the Giants.
I'm just saying morally sound quarterbacks.
Oh, okay.
Because you had Joe Montana, you had the Steve Youngs, you had
Stabler.
Troy Aikman.
Stabler was a lot of chicks.
You see I didn't mention his name, right? All right. But we had positive people in those general positions, as we would like to call them now, especially for the quarterback, is that on-field general. We saw a lot of successful, positive generals in our day growing up, and I just remember Doug Flutie and his Flutie Flakes, and the proceeds going towards, I think it was like children's
because his son
hospital,
autism.
right?
Yeah, probably his son is autistic. And then you remember what did Wayne Corbett had? Wayne Corbett had a cereal too from the Jets.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I used to eat both of them all the time.
Oh man,
Jet Fuel.
Yeah, I think Wayne Corbett's was like a rip off of like Frosted Flakes. But
I still remember eating Wheaties and being like, this tastes like cardboard, but if Michael Jordan eats it, I'm eating it.
That's
you guys don't like Wheaties? You guys don't think Wheaties is a good cereal? As far as the whole grain flake cereal, Wheaties is far superior.
Yeah, I'm not big on
the
whole
corn
grain.
flakes.
Honestly, if I'm gonna shout out any cereal, it's gonna be Crackin' Oat brand, because I love that cereal.
I'm going Frankenberry.
legit.
I'm going Frankenberry. I'm a man
Wow.
child.
What? You're a man child.
Boy.
You might as well just put on your Peter Pan outfit and be like,
Get my Peter Pan peanut butter. My Peter Pan peanut butter.
Peter Pan peanut butter,
But let's talk about the current Bills quarterbacks now, because I mean, everybody in the media, all the fans, everybody seems to like Tyrod Taylor. He was an alternate in the Pro Bowl that made a lot of people mad, but he did make the Pro Bowl. But I mean, Ryan keeps saying that, he keeps throwing things out there, so do other members of the staff, that they really like EJ Manuel. Now, Tyrod Taylor last year had 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 3,035 yards playing in 14 games. Now, the 2 games that Manuel played in, or the 7 games that Manuel played in, he had 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Now, 561 yards. Now, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, exactly.
Well,
Some of this is
go
for
ahead.
coming in for taking a knee and stuff like that, too. That's why it's 7 games.
Yeah, what were you saying, Colin?
I was gonna say, like, where is the logic in? I understand, like, they're similar types of players. Okay, so they're kind of, not. They're mobile. They're not run first, but they're both quick with their legs. They can extend the play. They can avoid sacks and maybe scramble for a few yards here and there. But Tyrod Taylor has proven as an NFL starter that he is efficient with moving the chains and not turning the ball over. I can't imagine what Rex Ryan. And sure, you know what? A coach should talk up all of his players. So do you guys think this is just kind of a gimmick just to try to hype up their backup, maybe for trade bait, or like, what do you guys think?
EJ Manuel might be worth something on a trade, but I do agree with you. They are very similar players. They're mobile and not runners per se. I think EJ Manuel is the perfect backup for Tyrod Taylor because they mirror each other. So if Tyrod goes out,
I can see that.
It's more of a seamless transition because I do view EJ Manuel as a tad bit lesser, but as the same player. I think that's good. Then you don't run into that problem like when Mike Vick came in for Big Ben. But go ahead, John.
Yeah, last year Tyrod Taylor's quarterback rating was a 99.4. Last year EJ Manuel's quarterback rating was a 78.5.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Granted, Tyrod Taylor is that guy. He's the hot quarterback right now in a cold town, but he's the hot quarterback. And not only that, he's got Sammy Watkins to throw to, and Sammy Watkins is just a nasty wide receiver. You just get the ball close to him, he's gonna make a play.
Absolutely. And you got McCoy coming out of the backfield. Colin, what do you got on Sammy Watkins?
Sammy Watkins, 2 straight years, and get this guy. I can't believe, how the Bills traded up from, I believe it was 9 to 4 to draft Sammy Watkins. 13 games last year is all he played. He missed some time with injury. And in those 13 games, he put up 1,047 yards and 9 touchdowns. And his rookie year, star-studded, obviously he was much hyped. And he had a great rookie campaign with 982 yards and 6 touchdowns. In 3 less games, he put up more yards, 3 more touchdowns, had 17.5 average per catch, and he was playing hurt some of the weeks. The dude is an absolute monster. And God, do you guys think that Tyrod Taylor has a Russell Wilson-like upside, especially considering the weapons that Tyrod Taylor has on his offense in Sammy Watkins or in LaShawn McCoy? I feel like they're greater than the weapons that
Seattle has.
Russell Wilson has worked with. We all
right.
know and
I can see
respect
that.
Marshawn Lynch, but Doug Baldwin is not. He's a decent wide receiver. I know we've talked
He's not
about him
Sammy
a lot
Watkins.
on the podcast. He's not Sammy Watkins. Like, does Tyrod have that kind of upside with this talent around him?
I mean, that's a very good question. I think that was a great comparison to make to the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, I definitely see LaShawn as a better running back. Who do they have back there now without Lynch?
Thomas Rawls and
Thomas
C.J.
Rawls, yeah.
Posey is going to be there.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Thomas Rawls performed nice, but he's not LaShawn
Nice.
McCoy.
What are you talking about? He looked like baby Skittles last season.
Yeah, but he's still not LaShawn McCoy, though, or Skittles in his prime.
Yeah, he wasn't
You know what I mean?
Skittles,
They've
but
proved
But
it for
neither, but
years.
Tyrod Taylor also isn't Russell Wilson. But if Tyrod Taylor can mature to the Russell Wilson level, while LaShawn McCoy, 27 years old, so he should have some more time in the tank. Tyrod Taylor needs to make some big steps forward this year.
if you
I don't think he has quite the arm that Russell Wilson does, but he's smart with the ball. Like we said, he doesn't turn the ball over, and they have similar style of play, can extend the play with their legs. But the guy is talented. That's the kind of control that you need as a quarterback, as a game manager who also can get the ball into the end zone.
Absolutely.
But he also got sacked a bunch last season.
Yeah, I was going to bring up that fact. Now, I would say
36?
Seattle has a better offensive line than the Bills, and that's something I think the Bills are really going to have to start to focus on.
So you have to be extra mobile. If you're getting sacked 36 times in a
Absolutely.
season, you have to be mobile because that means you got, and as you very well heard, over 1,000 yards for Sammy Watkins, that means he's moving and getting the ball out to make a play still.
And one of the things that I think second-year players will learn, as opposed to what he did as a rookie last year, is when to get rid of the ball. And instead of taking the sack.
Oh, yeah.
So perhaps he might have, a few less sacks as his awareness of the field around him becomes better, as he becomes more mature quarterback. Perhaps he'll take some less sacks and learn, all right, this play's not going anywhere. I'm not going to extend this play with my legs. Let me get rid of the ball. Let's just do over. You know what I mean?
My quick question for you guys then is, do you think LaShawn McCoy is going to be able to bounce back from only getting 895 yards and maybe becoming that 1,000-yard rusher again?
Well, he only played in 12 games last year. That's part of that. I mean, he would have, if he stayed on pace, he would have broken the 1,000-yard mark. Now, playing in 16 games the 2 previous years, he had over 1,300 yards in 2014 and over 1,600 yards in 2013. Now, even when he only played in 12 games the last time, that being 2012 with the Philadelphia Eagles, he went for about the same amount of yards, 840 this year, going for 895. I see him pushing it back over 1,000. He's done it pretty much every single year with the exception of 2012 and last year, missing a game in each the 2011 and 2010 season and still rushing for over 1,000 yards. His rookie year is the only year he played a full season and only rushed for 637 yards with 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, who was the other running back there? Was it Deuce?
Carlos Williams.
Carlos Williams? I was like,
yeah, I was just going to bring him up because I think they really like Carlos Williams. He showed a lot in the games that LaShawn missed last year, so I think that LaShawn gets to 1,000, but I would temper the expectations of like 1,500 because I think Rex will like to see a more balanced workload to keep everyone healthy.
And Sammy Watkins has got to get the ball sometimes too,
He's going to get his.
Now, let's take a look at Buffalo's schedule. And I don't know. Now, I mean, they're opening up. They're going Baltimore, Jets, Cardinals, Patriots, Rams, Niners, Dolphins, Patriots. I mean, they do play, and that's the first half of the season there. They do play in a rough division, that being the AFC East.
How odd do you think it is, though, that we're opening the football season on September 11th?
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. I thought about that before as well.
How about you, Colin? What are your thoughts about that the NFL is opening up their week 1, Sunday games?
I don't think it's the first time it's happened, though.
No, I don't think
Probably
it's the first
not.
time, but I'm just saying, what are your thoughts? Because remember, we lost the New York Football Giants game because of the 9/11 attack. And that first game back, seeing the Giants play, I know I got a little emotional, and I'm not a Giants fan, but to see that once again, we're not to veer off the path too much, as a country, when we're faced with great adversity, when we use our minds and we think logically instead of emotionally, we can do great things. When the 9/11 attacks happened, the sense of community in the city of New York and just in general around that time period,
countrywide,
it was there was a lot of civic pride, and not only that, there was more willingness to help your neighbor. And I think it's time for us to get back to that. But also, it's time for us to get back to football.
But yeah, let's talk about this right now. Think about this. I think they have a really hard schedule to start things off. Now, like I said, they're opening up against the Ravens. That could go either way.
I like their defenses. Usually they're good.
The Jets, you don't know who the quarterback's going to be. So let's just say Buffalo starts off hot like last year, goes 2-0. But then they got Arizona, the Patriots, the Rams, the Niners, and the Dolphins. So they have the Patriots twice and Arizona. Now, Rams have a serious defense. The Jets could go either way. I mean, that's a tough way to start off the season, and it doesn't get too much easier in the end of the season where they see Seattle. Then they got back-to-back away games with Seattle, and then they got to go to Cincy. Then they're home for the Jags. Then they have to go out to Oakland, going across the country for a 4 o'clock game, Sunday, December 4th. And then they got Steelers, Browns, Dolphins, and Jets again. Now, it does seem like they got a little sweet spot there for the last 3 games, going Browns. I mean, that is 2 division games, but they're the lesser teams in the division, so they're going Browns, Dolphins, and Jets. So maybe as long as they could survive, maybe if they could win those final 3, they could squeak in on a wild card.
I'm going to make a bold statement right now. Week 13, Khalil Mack is going to have 3 to 4 sacks on the quarterback.
I could see that.
Yep. Wouldn't argue against it.
I think Sam Stocks, now that he's back in his country, the UK, that's not really a country, but
yeah, he's home.
But
he's home.
But now that he's back, he's working on a post on Khalil Mack, I believe. He threw out a couple titles out there, so let's see which ones he comes out with.
He's really trying to like smooze and schmooze all the
Raiders fans
again. Just because I totally put him on blast about it, and I was like, "Yo,
twice."
Yeah,
was it 2 of the articles? Where the Raiders at, man?
Yeah, it wasn't until the top
Stabler.
10 quarterbacks they put Stapler on there.
I think he put him at number 10. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just put him at 10 just to be like, "Hey, I put a Raider there."
But if you disagree with Sam, or us, you guys can start your own show just like this if you guys go to podbean.com. But when you go to podbean.com, make sure you throw in our coupon code. Go podbean.com/r/bedlam. That's podbean.com/the letter R/bedlam, and you'll get a free month free of whatever package you choose. I mean, they have unlimited bandwidth starting at $16 a month. So you can get unlimited bandwidth free for the month if you go to podbean.com/r/bedlam now while this promotion is going on.
And also, like I said, I'm going to say it again, email staff@voiceofbedlam, title it, "Come be my guest." All right, not to be like Beauty and the Beast or anything. Be our guest. Be our guest.
You're a weirdo.
No. Yeah, I know, right? No, hey, we're reaching out to all different demographics now, I guess.
That's Disney Classic.
Oh yeah, right. Disney Classic. Yo, they're actually doing a live action one of that now. So.
Yeah, starring Emma Watson, and I can't wait to see me some Emma Watson on the big screen.
I don't even know who Emma Watson is.
She's a cutie.
So many problems with your life, my friend.
Yeah, but like I said, email staff@voiceofbedlam.com and title the subject be our guest. All right, and one of us, you can choose. I don't know who's gonna throw their name out there. I'll throw my name out there personally. We'll be a guest, at least I will, on your show as a big thank you for signing up with Podbean using our code. Okay,
podbean.com/r/bedlam.
Do it now. Get to the chopper.
But let's move on and let's have John. Why don't you tell us what's going on in UFC 200?
Oh man, UFC 200, and mind you, this is like up to date to like literally like 15-20 minutes ago, because when the news broke that Bones Jones popped for 2 performance-enhancing drugs, he was pulled from the card, obviously, and it left Daniel Cormier without an opponent. Okay. Dana White received the call, literally, he said 2 minutes as he was leaving the press conference, announcing that Bones Jones failed the test. And guess who's going to be fighting Daniel Cormier now?
Well, I'm going to say I saw the article up at voiceofbedlam.com, so I know, but why don't you tell everybody?
Well, actually, in the article, I didn't get a chance because this is brand new. Like, they just did a conference last night because UFC Fight Night was on last night. And Anderson Silva, the Spider, is
coming
going
back
up against Cormier. Yes, he just had gallbladder surgery not too long ago, and not only that, Dana White made a comment about the medical process. It usually takes a couple weeks. They got it all done in one day for that man.
There you go. Yeah.
So
I mean, Silva's one of the
he's a legend.
Mount
He's
Rushmore.
He's a
Mount Rushmore of MMA.
He was one of the best pound for pound fighters, and no pun intended, because Jon Bones Jones was up in among active fighters, was named the best pound for pound fighter, and he's fighting out of Jackson's MMA. And if anybody knows anything about the MMA field, Jackson's MMA is about as elite as you get. They're all about going in there and sparring straight through and working on all multiple disciplines. Jiu-jitsu, Ishanru karate, Muay Thai. You're mixing in so many disciplines, but you're also using them in sparring aspects. So you're actually using it in real time. But the Miesha Tate fight is now the main card, and also on that undercard, there's just so many fights at UFC 200 that I see why it's going to be one of the best selling ones. I know I'm going to take my butt to the bar and go watch it.
Now, John, I know you wrote the article up at voiceofbedlam.com, and now what did you title it?
Bones Knows Trouble.
There you go. So get over to voiceofbedlam.com, check out Bones Knows Troubles.
Do you guys get my reference though?
What do you mean? No.
You don't get...
Nope.
No, Colin? You don't get it? All right.
No.
All right. Do you remember when Nike was doing Bo Nose and all that stuff? Or
Bo Jackson, yeah.
Well, they redid
Bones.
it. Yeah, well, they did it again, and they have a Bones Nose, or like...
like
and then
Bo
they
Nose.
also have Cam. They have a Cam one, too. And that's where I was playing that one off of.
Now, I said Mount Rushmore, and I think we both agree you'd have to put Silva on there. Would you put a guy like the Iceman on there? Chuck
Most
Liddell?
definitely.
Damn
He was one of the guys that, because think about it. I don't like to be this type of person, but I guess I've become it. I was fortunate enough to grow up with a father who loved to have satellite television, okay? So I got to watch UFC in its infancy. Tank Abbott, going against Horace Gracie.
Before they were wearing the 3-ounce gloves.
Exactly. And not only that, no weight classes. No weight classes. Yeah. So, I was watching UFC back when that was going on. And then when Dana White took over, he really launched that sport into more legitimacy.
But that's good because it won't end up like boxing then.
Boxing, yeah. Unfortunately, boxing was kind of banking on like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather to kind of like rejuvenate the sport.
But even if boxing is just so corrupt, though, what are you saying, Colin?
I was going to say that sport specifically relies on its star power. And now that these, your Pacquiaos, your Mayweathers are getting old, like, who's the face? Like, UFC, the names are well known regardless of, like, all weight classes has a level of interest. Who's the big name left in boxing? That's why UFC is becoming the new boxing.
Absolutely, and UFC to me is a lot more action. There's a lot more ground and pounds. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of submissions, but like I don't want to watch a guy like Floyd Mayweather dip punches for 2 hours, tire somebody out, and then finally take a shot. Like that's boring to me. I understand.
That's the sweet science, though.
Yes, I understand that, but see, I'm not a boxer. I want to see some blood on the mat. And UFC, MMA, it's just coming out. And I mean, like when Ronda Rousey was fighting, just running out of that corner and just going out to hurt people. I understand that there's a lot more behind it, but I just liked the barbaric feel to it. Just
too bad she
couldn't. I know, couldn't. And then Holly Holmes loses right after it.
Yeah, I was about to say, too bad she couldn't get away from that nice shot that put her out from Holly Holmes.
Yeah, Holly Holmes, dude, she had that insane reach. I'm not gonna lie though, I remember watching
She's
the weigh-ins.
She's a heck of a kickboxer, man. She has a heck of a kick boxing career. That she was and Misha Tate as well, who's fighting on UFC 200.
She's the one that got a belt now, right?
Yeah, she took out Holly. Current champion.
Yeah.
She took out Holly. So Misha Tate's been in the game as well for a long time, and I'm glad to see that she's got her due, and that she gets to be the champ.
Now, I saw the weigh-ins, right? And I remember watching the weigh-ins with Holmes and Rousey.
Yeah.
And, Rousey tried to get, like shovey with her and everything like that. And I was watching that on Fox Sports 1.
Okay.
Now, you can get Fox Sports 1 right out of DirecTV if you guys call 855-668-9061. That's 855-668-9061. That'll be included if you guys get the NFL Sunday Ticket Max. And also, you'll be able... That's where most coverage of the UFC is.
Yeah.
UFC is on that channel constantly. You know what I mean? I was watching the weigh-ins. I was looking at it. I was like, oh, Ronda Rousey's going to knock this chick out.
They get fighting.
No, I was absolutely wrong. I was thinking about betting on that fight, and I was going to bet on Rousey. I would have lost. I was thinking about betting on the McGregor-Diaz fight, and I would have been wrong with that one too. So I'm staying the hell out of MMA when it comes to Vegas.
It's kind of funny, and you can verify with a mutual friend of ours, EJ. My predictions in UFC fights are like gold. Like if you ever want to bet on fights, especially UFC, give your boy John a call. I'll help you out a little bit.
Call him Mr. Octagon.
Yeah, right.
Where's the money at?
But I have a question for you guys, and just to move on real fast. But with Bones Jones failing that drug test for the second time now, okay? Now it's I mentioned that it left a bad taste in Dana White's mouth, because when you watch that conference of him announcing that Bones Jones failed, you've seen it all over his face. His hand is in his covering his mouth, and he's just kind of like leaning forward, just not very, very despondent from the announcement that's going on. Do you see? I mentioned that Bones Jones might have seen his last days in the UFC. What do you guys think? Do you think he gets another chance, or do you think he's done?
See, I don't know, because UFC is still a baby, and I don't know. I know Goodell and what his policies are. I mean, if it was boxing, nobody would care at all. But I don't know. I think UFC wants to steer away from that direction so they don't fall into that same bottomless pit all the multiple boxing leagues or associations, whatever they are, fell into. So I don't know. I think this might hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, because there's still Bellator, and Bellator is and there's I don't know if I'm still trying to remember if Strikeforce is still doing it, because I think Strikeforce got consumed by UFC. See, I'm sorry, guys. I have so much information up here that sometimes it gets a little lost. But what are you thinking, Colin? Do you think Bones Jones is going to be able to fight in the UFC again?
I'm a firm believer in 3 strikes you're out, I suppose. If you could make 2 mistakes and then still not get it in your head to stop doing what you're doing, then you're a lost cause. I would imagine it's probably too early to kind of give him the absolute boot. I mean, he lost his fight, so he's already lost millions of dollars. Eventually he's going to convince himself, this is not worth it. You can still participate and lose and make money, or you can continue to cheat and not make a damn dime. So yeah. I would imagine he's going to be, one more strike, and then you're out. He'll fight again.
Honestly, though, and I see where you guys are coming from, but I'm gonna kind of fill you guys in on how much of a PETA, as I will say, the acronym. He's been a PETA to the UFC. All right, the first time
people for the ethical treatment of animals.
No,
people eating tasty animals.
PITA, pain in the blank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a PETA for the UFC. The reason why, the first time he was supposed to fight Henderson, that got changed to Chael Sonnen, and he declined the fight. That was the first time ever in UFC history where a fight card was canceled.
You failed.
So to be one of the first fighters to cancel a card, right? Outright cancel it, and then almost make it happen again at one of the biggest events, because UFC 200 was one of the biggest promoted events. Let's not forget that the first main event was supposed to be the rematch between Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, but because Conor McGregor wanted to be a prima donna and talk about how he wanted to retire and he wanted more money, it got pushed back obviously to August 20th. But so, and if it wasn't for the creative thinking and Spider Silva and I think Dan Henderson reached out as well, a few fighters put themselves out on the line with the lack of preparation just to keep that fight card alive.
Yeah.
So to play that much cleanup for one person's mistake, I think that almost has to carry the weight of 3 strikes.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I see what you're saying there. But let's keep things moving and say there's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball.
But there sure
crying
is
baseball.
There sure is screaming though. And Chris Bra of FoxSports.com says the New York Mets and Washington Nationals combined for 8 homers on Thursday night, but it was a slide that dominated the conversation afterwards. And at least one of those conversations got heated. With the Nationals down 9-7 in the top of the 9th, Jason Worth led off with a walk. Daniel Murphy then hit a grounder to shortstop Cabrera, who flipped the ball to second baseman Neil Walker. Worth was called out for an illegal takeout slide, resulting in a double play. Even though Murphy had been safe at first base, the call was upheld by a replay review, and Bruce Harper then struck out to end the game. Now this is where it gets interesting. I mean, that sounds like an exciting game alone, but then in the hallway following the game, the Nationals GM Mike Rizzo had some harsh words for the umpire Jim Joyce, the crew chief who made the controversial call at second base. According to the New York Daily News, Rizzo said, "You blew it." The two reportedly had to be restrained during the argument, so people were holding them back, and then they were saying things like, "I don't need you out there. You want to yell?" said Rizzo. "I'm right here. You're the one that came up and talked to me," said Joyce, and I guess they were being restrained from each other while this was going on. Did you guys catch either one of these games with 8 homers?
No, I did not, but the last time I watched baseball, it was the Texas team,
the
Rangers versus the Toronto Blue Jays, and I remember a man getting punched out.
Yeah, no. This has become a really hot topic in baseball. Like last year in the playoffs in the NLDS, second baseman of the Dodgers, Chase Utley, took out second baseman Daniel Murphy. Actually, oddly enough, and no, he didn't take out Daniel Murphy. I forget exactly who
Chase Utley
took out. He ended up breaking the shortstop's ankle. It was Dodgers Mets. Utley got booted from the game. They called it a double play. Just media went up in an uproar. And now the determination that the umpires need to make is, was this slide malicious? Or malicious? Was he just trying to injure? And obviously everyone's trying to prevent the double play there, but if you're going out and you're sliding away from second base, and just towards the player, that's a really an uncalled for. It's like throwing the flag for roughing the kicker or roughing the passer. You know what? You can get as heated as you want, but it's 15 yards. You can't do it.
Yeah, there you go.
And the general manager of the Nationals, Rizzo, for coming down and finding the umpire, the manager, I would understand, but this is the general manager. This is the guy who's making the calls of who's coming up from the minors. This is the call of who's trading who. You know, this is not the guy in the dugout. This is the guy who puts the team together, who divvies out the freaking payroll. Him getting into an umpire's face is completely unacceptable. The guy needs to realize that you can't play baseball that way with intent to hurt. You know, it's a bit soft. I get that. Baseball has a bad reputation for being, it's slow, so, boring.
Listen to the baseball
it's for
fan.
wussies. yeah, this is from the baseball. I'm trying to defend the sport and also condemn what Jason Worth is doing. It's tough for me. I'm putting me in a tough spot. And Jason Worth is not a popular guy in Philadelphia.
I'm an MMA
he
fan
was on our World Series team, but go ahead, John.
I was going to say, I'm an MMA fan, and apparently all MMA fans love to slug beer and fight people for no reason. So, and let me just say, I don't mind fighting people, but I don't go out looking for fights, but I also don't drink, so booyah, eat that.
You drink on Pogo City Radio, though.
Yes, I did. Oh, my God, I got sloshy.
Okay, you guys can go find that on your own if you want, but if you guys want to catch a Nationals game or a Rangers game or a UFC bout, you guys need to hit up Ticket Software LLC at 866-853-3454. That's Ticket Software LLC LLC at 866-853-3454. Now, when you guys call in, you'll talk to a real person. They got great deals on all their tickets. You can get plays. You can get tickets to plays. You can get tickets to concerts. The whole nine. Internationally, all right? So all over the world. And get them from Ticket Software LLC at 866-853-3454.
Speaking of, like, there's a big game coming up. I know me and Colin were discussing a little bit. Do you know at the PP&L Center they're going to be hosting the Devils versus Flyers?
Oh, really? I'd like to go to that. Yeah, I'd like to go to that.
I think we're going to have to do like a Bedlam, like the voice of Bedlam goes to the hockey game.
Yeah, we could do that.
Like, because it's right there. Like, it's 25 minutes away. I just thought that was interesting that the Flyers, came and the Devils are playing that close to my home because I'm a Devils fan. That's one of the
Devils play in Newark. That's not that far from here to begin with, anyway.
Yeah, but that's
plus the minor league Flyers, the Phantoms play in Allentown there, so it's kind of a no-brainer. A lot of time, I don't think the Phillies will ever play in Allentown where the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs play. Yeah, but
Bethlehem, right?
It's great publicity for Allentown, and the new stadium I've heard is beautiful. So I think it's going to entice Devils fans like you, John. Like there's a lot of them in the Lehigh Valley. I know a few. Oh, yeah. They're all POSs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but all I gotta say is 2 words, and every Flyers fan eventually sucks their teeth.
Don't do it.
Scott Stevens.
Don't do it. Whatever, man. I got nothing, dude. I've seen 0 cups.
So for all of our fans out there, if you're gonna go to this preseason game, come find us because you know what, we're gonna plan this as a group outing.
We might also be hitting up a soccer match this weekend, right?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on some tickets, but yeah, the Bethlehem Steel Football Club. I'm gonna try to go out and see them because my mom works with Lehigh Valley Health Networks, and they're a sponsor for them. So, hey guys, we get to go watch some football.
All right, you guys want to get ready for Bedlam's Big Ten?
Yeah. Oh man, dude, it's been a while since we've had to do a Big Ten segment, but I'm down for it. How about you, Colin? Are you ready for the Big Ten?
I got 10 reasons why I am.
You got 10 reasons why.
All right, now I know you guys are a little bit more, I don't know, I'm going to say feminine than I am. And see me, I like the dark, I like the simple, the plain uniforms. And you guys are going to hear all about that in Bedlam's Big Ten Best Uniforms. Now at number 10, kind of going against myself here, getting a little flashy, going with the current Bucks uniform. Now I think that's mostly, I just like the whole pirate thing. I like the whole pirate flag. I just think it's cool. It's way better than what they used to have, but let's move on.
See, I thought you were going to say the Bucks like being like the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were going for too.
No. We're talking Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There we go.
All right. But at number 9, we're going to go with the navy blue 1992
Dream Team.
We're talking Jordan, Bird, Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen.
Clyde.
All right, guys. So, I mean, the USA, navy blue, I really like those. Putting them at number 9. Gonna stick with basketball, move over to the NBA, and go with not the New Jersey Nets, but the Brooklyn Nets, the black and white jerseys.
The team formerly known as the New Jersey Nets.
Spike Lee, where you at?
I know, right? Like the New Jersey only has one team left, and it's a dang good team. But come on, bring a team back to Jersey.
I was kind of pissed. I mean, I know Spike Lee's, of course, a Knicks fan, but he's all Brooklyn and everything. But let's keep things moving and go across the country. Stick it with black, mix it with silver, and talk about the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Love the Raiders. I'm big on the pirate thing. I think that's great for like any sports team. It's tough. It's mean. They're dark. They're dirty. Just win, baby. Coming back to this state, going over to Steel City, Pittsburgh Steelers. I told you, I like the dark ones. I like the little splash of gold in there with some highlights. And John, I did the next one for you. What's the next one?
Oh, them Devils uniforms. See, I like the inaugural colors with the red, white, and green, but the red, white, and black, you can't go wrong. Those were the high school colors that I wore, that you wore.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
So, when you have
Win
red,
Rovers
white...
win.
Hey, whatever. We're Red Rovers.
All right, and next up, I'm going with the blackout Philadelphia Eagles jersey.
It's not a bad one. That's
now,
nice.
I hate it because they usually do this for home division games, like when Eli's coming to town. And last year, a couple years ago, they put together that whole stupid cartoon about how Eli's scared of the dark. But I can't be too biased, and I got to give number 4 best uniform to the black Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to move over to the MLB and talk about them Bronx Bombers in the pinstripes. Classic uniform. So many greats been dressed in them pinstripes. That's why nobody could beat them, because everybody's always staring at the pinstripes. Number 2, going to be a homer here, but it's true. We're talking the 80s era Giants. LT, Phil Simms, Hampton, Otis Anderson. Giants on the helmet, blue jerseys, white pants with the red stripe, and coming in at number 1 for Bedlam's Big Ten best uniforms of all time, we're going Cleveland Browns. That's right, I said it. They can't win anything, but they can win this.
What are you talking about? They just won an NBA championship.
Not the Browns.
Not the Browns.
Yeah, the Browns have.
I don't think the
I
Browns
didn't say
will
I
ever
like the
win an
Cavs
NBA
uniforms.
championship.
I
I'm willing
said
to
the
put
Browns uniforms.
everything.
Yeah, so now the Cleveland Browns are number 1 at something other than sucking.
What do you guys like about that? What do you think about that? I feel like
I'm
a lot of
calling
people are
Homer.
gonna.
I'm calling Homer. I'm calling Homer.
I'm not a Browns fan.
The Giants number 2.
Hell yeah, the dark blue, the white pants. Think about it, with the
Calling
high
over.
top cleats, the white high top cleats. Got to get all 80s with the pulled up
Hey,
white
your
socks.
Eagles made it above the Devils, so I'm.
I mean, I'm thankful for that, and I don't know. It's tough. We have obviously this is a completely subjective article, and you know what? I just think the Giants uniforms are bland.
You know
I think
what?
the Browns
All the
uniforms are
uniforms-
bland. That's why we won't see eye to eye. It's okay.
All the
It's
uniforms
okay.
I picked are
Honest,
bland.
there's,
I know.
There's a
It's a
couple. I have a couple honorable mentions. First, I have one from just about every sport too. I know. All right. So in hockey, as much as I don't want to give them credit, but the Broad Street Bullies, man, that orange, black, and white
Thank you.
combination, it does look nice. You know.
Especially for hockey.
Agreed.
That feels like a hockey look.
Yeah, and don't
It
call
does.
don't call it a jersey because it is a sweater. All right. In basketball, though, I really like the Rockets uniform. It's kind of classic.
red and white?
The red and
Yeah?
white. I really like it. Well, I'm a Rockets fan as well too, but
That's fair. How about what do you feel about the Toronto Raptors? They'd be my favorite in the NBA.
The purple
the old
one?
school Vince Carter with the dinosaur.
Yeah.
Older ones, not
Yes.
the ball with
Yes.
the paw print, but yeah.
those
things I can't
the
get enough
other
of.
basketball team that really just kind of points out a lot to me, and maybe it sounds also kind of like a homer pick. Them Charlotte Hornets jerseys, those are
Legit.
dope. Those are
No doubt.
because
They're not even a team anymore. Now they're
What are you
the,
talking
Yes, they
about?
are.
They're the
Now
Charlotte
the
Hornets
new
again.
Charlotte Hornets
They're not the
jerseys are
Charlotte
back.
Bobcats anymore. They went back to the Hornets, and not only that, they're back to like that turquoise.
Is it- I was gonna say, is it that color
tealy
scheme?
turquoise kind of?
What was that when Muggsy Bogues was playing?
Yep, Grandmama. Yep, Larry Johnson. And then honestly, there's so many good jerseys. That's like it's hard to like.
So who would you guys just give me your number 1 or your top 2, whatever? Who's the absolute? Whether I said them or not, who would you put at your top 10?
Where's the Panthers? You know that
I don't like the little soft.
I love the Panthers unis. Those are my favorite
So
in
you
the
guys,
NFL.
you guys got the same
me.
fashion sense. You guys got the same.
Yes, so
fashion
yeah,
sense.
boy, John, you dress well, my man.
I mean, you guys like the Oilers jerseys too, don't you?
the Oilers
Eh,
were.
I didn't care for the whole
tacky.
oil well logo.
Well,
Didn't
what
do
about the?
anything
Yeah,
for
I
me.
get that. Me neither. But I mean the color scheme.
No,
I don't like the
seems fine,
Oilers.
but
I don't like
the
the.
I don't like the white on white. I like the I like that sky blue that the Panthers
That's-
do.
yeah,
Like, I
that's
like the
what-
Lions jerseys as well. I guess that's this color thing, but I love the Panthers jerseys. Those are my NFL go-to.
All right, but I guess that'll wrap it up for Bedlam's Big Ten. Run through it real quick. We got the current Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey, the navy blue Dream Team jerseys, Brooklyn Nets, Raiders, Steelers, Devils, the Black Eagles uniforms, pinstripe Bronx Bombers, 80s Giants, and any Browns uniform.
What about the Diamondbacks? They always had cool jerseys.
Interesting one.
What do you mean? Describe it. I can't.
It was when Randy Johnson was pitching. It was basically kind of like a sleeveless jersey.
Oh, I know what you're
it was
talking
a
about.
vest over top the purple shirt with it was the A and the purple A and green jagged mountains, kind of like diamonds, on one side of the A. Very sharp.
Yeah,
when they won the World Series.
What do you think,
2001.
Colin? Who would you throw in there, Colin?
Back to NFL, I really like, and maybe it is an orange and black thing. I love the Bengals unis.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot to put the Bengals on there. You're absolutely
like
right.
them, right?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Bengals should be on there too.
Oh man, what were you doing? He was like,
I will kick out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and put the Bengals there.
Man, I
we go.
don't think Sam Stocks is gonna like that too much.
Yeah, we keep knocking on his team, but I mean that's enough for Bedlam's Big Ten. And why
That's
don't
what
we
you get, Sam, for leaving the Raiders out of your top 10 list when it comes to overall.
Bo Jackson,
Yeah, what's up with that? And no Marcus Allen.
Bolitnikoff. But let's move on and get into today's
4-minute hut.
or what?
4-minute hut.
All right, today's 4-minute hut. We're going to rip off NFL Network right now. And we're going to go not through their top 100, but the top 10 of the top 100. A lot of top 10s today. But real quick, let's just run through the list. We got Odell Beckham at 10, Rob Gronkowski at 9, Julio Jones at 8, Luke Kuechly, Carolina Panthers. I'm going to tell you, he's not the only Panther on there. Then we're going down to Aaron Rodgers falling down a couple spots, Adrian Peterson with a huge jump, Antonio Brown, last year's number 1 J.J. Watt, number 2 with Tom Brady, and number 1 Carolina Panther, MVP of the NFL, and Super Bowl prima donna Cam Newton.
Superman Cam.
Okay, all right. But let's start up at number 10. Now, first of all, we're going to get into some of the players, but is there anybody, out of the names I mentioned, is there anybody that you strongly disagree with? I have one thing, not a player per se, but something I noticed that I strongly disagree with.
Odell Beckham should have been in Julio Jones' spot.
So you're saying from 10 to 8?
Yeah.
So the order you don't like.
I don't like it. No, I don't think Julio Jones is
Now-
he's good and all, but he has Matty Ice throwing to him, and Matty Ice is garbage. I'm sorry, and I'm not just saying that as a Panthers fan. His play in general is just falling off, and that and I'm not saying that because I was salty because they handed us our only regular season loss. I'm saying that because out of 136 receptions, Julio Jones had 1,800. Going
1,800 yards.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't that do more for his case than against him if he's got a butt quarterback?
But he's the only target, there. So
Someone's got to get open.
Going into next season, he's going to be double covered, and he's going to be out of the top 10.
I still think that for his first few years, he had a relatively healthy and productive Roddy White, which also helps, his numbers because they had to pay attention to him. Yeah, they've got a significant hole there. To be perfectly blunt, I don't know who the Falcons' number 2 wide receiver is this year. I really don't. But, yeah, they'll pay more attention to him, but I still think Julio will get his and
but
keep
Julio
him worthy of top
only
10
ranked in
status.
8 TDs, though.
What are Beckham's numbers? Bring up Beckham's numbers.
We got
96 receptions, so considerably, almost 40 receptions less, but 1,450 yards. A bigger average coming in at 15.1. Julio was down at 13.
13 TDs.
But OBJ's got those 13 TDs.
Exactly.
Over the 8
So
TDs.
why isn't he higher than Julio?
Well,
obviously it's voted on by the players, and it's a popularity contest. It's like, who's the best kisser?
Now, one thing I want to say real quick. Now, scroll down to Adrian Peterson. Now, we got Adrian Peterson at about, what's he, 5?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Adrian
Peterson is 5. Yeah.
Coming in at 5 with 327 carries, 1,400 yards, averaging 4.5 a carry with 11 TDs. Now, I have no problem with him being at number 5, but last year he was ranked 65th. All right, now last year he was ranked 65th now it's the top 100 for the previous year. Adrian Peterson played in one game, ran for 75 yards, and had no touchdowns. How was he the 60th dominant NFL player in 2014?
He was one of the top running backs last season. And
No. The year before. He only played in one game. He got 75 yards. He didn't even play. Suspended. How is he the 60th best player in the league?
Because it's voted on on by the players.
That's ridiculous.
and
I don't care about
he
the list
still
at all
has
then.
their respect.
Somebody with 75 yards is going to be the 60th. That's such pure
It's
name
not
value.
it's not who was the best player for the past year. In fact, in my opinion, despite him only having 75 yards and playing one game, he still should have been in the top 10 because the league still as a whole knows that he's a top 10 player. This is not the who was the top player last year. It's the top player today going into this year. And if any NFL player really thought that Adrian Peterson would not have a top 10 season this coming year, they were a moron, or they were lying, or maybe Adrian Peterson stole their girl because they're just got it out for him and they're not right.
I have no problem with where he's at this year. I have a problem with last year. And I believe the title of the show is the Top 100 Countdown for 2015. I think that insinuates that it's based on 2015.
Correct.
It's not the Top 100 Countdown of all time.
But all right, so then with that being said, do you disagree with number one being at number one?
To be honest, no, I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, he won the MVP.
I think it's fair too.
He won the MVP, deservedly so. I'm going to tell you, though.
Because he made a big jump.
You might disagree. The only person, and I'm not saying they should have been number one, there's two people I think that are way too low. One of them is Rob Gronkowski. All right, now he only had the 77 catches, but I mean, the boy's a tight end.
What are you talking about? He's like one broken finger away from being the $1 million man.
Yeah, which is, I think that gives him even more. But the other person that I have a problem with that I think should be at least number two and should have battled it out with Cam for number one and probably lost, Antonio Brown. I think Antonio Brown being behind Tom Brady and J.J. Watt, I don't really agree with that. I say basically move J.J. Watt to 4, Brady to 3, Brown to 2, Cam to 1. Now, Brown had 136 receptions, over 1,800 yards with 10 touchdowns, not even playing all his games with a starting quarterback. Quarterback rotation last year due to injury. That boy might have broke 2,000 yards if Big Ben was in there the whole time. What do you think, Colin? Agree or disagree?
I think Antonio Brown is kind of right where he belongs because, you know what, he dominates the field when he's on it, but he has Ben Roethlisberger throwing to him. He's got Le'Veon Bell for distractions in the background. Name me one other star player on the Texans defense outside of J.J. Watt.
Well, Jadeveon Clowney is a star, but
he hasn't shown it in the NFL.
Yeah,
Cushing. What about Cushing?
Yeah, Cushing.
Fair, but where is Cushing on this list? I don't know offhand, but I highly doubt he's top 30, 40, 50. J.J. Watt is the heart, soul of that Texans defense.
I'll give you that.
He deserves to be
that's
number
why
one.
I would give him the nod.
Now, don't forget, last year, he also had 3 receptions for 4 yards and
I love that stat.
3 touchdowns, 3 receptions, 3 touchdowns, 4 yards. J.J. Watt
Unreal.
coming out of defensive end. Hell yeah, he was the number 1 player the year before. All right, but there's 2 number 2s on here. Now, what I mean by that is there's 2 Carolina Panthers. We talked about one. We talked about number 1, that being Cam Newton, but we didn't talk about Kuechly. And Kuechly is also one of 2 defensive players. J.J. Watt and Kuechly being the only defensive players. John, why don't you talk about Kuechly? And how do you think, is this a good spot for him? Should he be higher or lower? What do you think? 1 sack, 118 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions.
This is usually bad etiquette, but I'm going to answer that with a question. Name another linebacker that is all over the field like Luke. Name another linebacker that is always making plays, always on the tackle, always near the ball. I'll wait.
I know. I'm trying to think of one.
I would say Mac is the only one who's proven to be quite as dynamic, but he hasn't showed it for enough years like Kuechly has.
Kuechly plays in the middle, though, doesn't he? Mac plays on the outside.
He's a middle. Yeah, Mac only steps back once in a while.
He plays DN/outside, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of a more true linebacker. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, you're probably right. Luke Kuechly probably is the best linebacker in the game. But who is the second best linebacker in the game?
The second? Well, I don't want to sound like a homer, but
oh, come on,
Thomas Davis.
No, I'm not. Colin, who's the second best linebacker
Thomas
in the
Davis
league?
went into the Super Bowl with a broken arm.
And I love that. And all the screws and the plates.
And he was still making plays.
That's very honorable. He played decent. Yeah, and he played. But, I mean, that just the heart, maybe. The heart. But, I mean, strictly based off play.
You
I
need
mean,
talent
with that
and
account,
heart in this
you
game.
could say Ahmad Bradshaw was the greatest running back of all time then because he was playing with 2 broken feet. Now, I love Ahmad Bradshaw. Scored the winning touchdown in the second.
But he's running with
Super
2
Bowl.
left feet. feet.
Yeah, but I'm not by no means saying he's the greatest running back ever. So just because the man played injured in the Super Bowl doesn't make him the best ever. Colin, what do you think? Who's the second best or first? Do you disagree with Luke Kuechly being the best linebacker in the league? Who do you see as 1 and 2?
I mean, I really can't disagree with him being the top linebacker in the league. In fact, I'm really struggling to think of another linebacker who has shown anything at the same level as Kuechly has outside of Von Miller or Khalil Mack. Like, who else has really shown anything as of late that is worthy of this right now?
Von Miller was all the way back in the 30s.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Super Bowl MVP.
Surprising. Definitely surprising.
I'd have to agree with Colin
maybe they don't think he's played long enough.
I could see Von being up there too, but like I said though, Luke Kuechly, I watch almost every single Panthers game thanks to DirecTV.
Sunday Ticket Max.
Indeed, with and I love the Red Zone channel with Andrew Siciliano.
Yeah, that's my dude.
So
you gotta love the guineas.
Yeah, so so if you don't have your DirecTV, make sure you call 855-668-9061. Get into that today because you don't want to be like me in the past missing out on these wonderful Panthers games. But Luke Kuechly's everywhere, and not only that, he's with Thomas Davis getting older, Shaq Thompson coming up and stepping into those roles sooner. He's been quite honestly I would have to say the Jenga piece for that defense because the front line is just stacked.
Yes,
but Luke is everywhere. Like,
yes,
I beg to, and you guys are obviously now arguing with me because I'm obviously you've seen him play. He's just all over the place, and we just discussed on the last podcast that he's the pride of Boston College. So. And he's getting
they're retiring the number.
Yeah, he's retiring he's getting his number retired. That's awesome.
That's a huge honor, yeah.
And not only that, you'd be hard pressed to find an interview with him that's negative. He's always got a good smile. He's always got a great attitude, and that's exactly who I want representing my favorite team.
All right, guys. Colin, you got anything else on this top 10, my man? Before we start rocking on out of here?
You really can't change. I could change the order, but it's really tough to argue against any inclusions.
Now, give me some. What order would you change?
What order?
I like Cam Newton number 1. I don't like Tom Brady at number 2, to be honest.
Me neither.
I don't think he's no longer the second most dominating player. He's still incredible.
But if it wasn't for his offensive line, he would have been going up against Cam Newton.
36 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, 4,770 yards, 102.2 rating. Go ahead, Colin.
But if you came at me right now, like, which quarterback do you want on your team this year?
Yeah,
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, me too.
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady. He'll be close third, sure, but Tom's not the second best guy, and I think this is from the player's perspective. Obviously, it's a respect factor. Tom Brady is that dude. He's incredible. The dude's won 4 Super Bowls, and he's a hell of a talent. He's probably the best who ever lived. But in 2016, I wouldn't say he's the second best player in the league
after you just
anymore.
said that, I think you've been talking to Sam Stocks a little too much.
I know. Put him at the number 1 greatest quarterback of all time.
That's we watched him play, my friends. I think so. I was not old enough for Montana though. I've seen the stats, but I love me some Brady, and I hate the guy as a Eagles fan. But as you can read on my article on voiceofbedlam.com, I learned to stop hating Tom Brady.
There you go. Why hate what's great? Head over to voiceofbedlam.com. Before we get out of here, let's tell you about the music playing in the back. That's Blank 77. I Want to Be a Punk. But make sure you guys check out Blank 77's new album, Split with the Parasitics, Getting Blasted. Look it up, Getting Blasted, Blank 77. But make sure you guys go over to voiceofbedlam.com. Check out all the posts. Check out all the articles. See if you guys want to become a contributor and see what it's got to join our team. Make sure you guys look out and sign up. A couple spots left in the Fantasy Football Listeners League. Hit me up at staff@voiceofbedlam.com. All right, now, I'm Andrew Bedlam. We got my man Devil John on the right and King Kojo Johnson on the phone. Voice of Bedlam crew, we're getting the hell out of here. Peace.